Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In this channel, I discuss finance, business, entrepreneurship, money, anything and everything that you need for your success. Please like this video so that YouTube will recommend it to other people. Thank you so much. Welcome to Millennial Money, where we discuss how millennials make and spend their money. Of course, we look at it step by step and figure out where they are making mistakes and correct them. In this episode, we'll be considering a millennial that's living on $58,000 a year in Dallas, Texas. How does she make this money and how does she spend this money? One thing is sure, that in the course of the video, there are many things you will learn that will step up your financial life. So smash the like button. Let's get started.
I think that teachers have had a bad rep in the United States, and especially working for public schools, in terms of like low salaries and other negative, bad conditions. But I think that it's totally possible to be a professional teacher and to live a comfortable life on a teacher's salary here in Texas.
She's making a point that teachers in the US are looked down upon. But you won't blame the common man for looking down on teachers when Business Insider gave us 10 alarming facts about teachers' pay in the United States. In the United States, many first-year teachers can expect to earn a salary of less than $40,000. So when people know that they're not well paid, do you want people to think that they're highly paid? Teaching is a good profession, and there was a time I was a teacher. So I would say I am proud of being a teacher and understand how the teaching profession works. But in most countries, teachers are not well paid, and it's not a fault on the teachers. Average salary for a teacher in the US is $60,000, and the starting salary are often below $40,000, which means their starting salary is below the average earning in the US. Also, the US ranks 7th in the world for teachers' pay, and they pay less than half of what the number one country pay is teachers. In this article also, they said that in the highest paying state for teachers, which is New York, teachers need to earn a master's degree within 5 years. Just to tell you more, in the lowest paying state, which is Oklahoma, half of all the teachers are making less than $33,000 a year. Over 20% of teachers have second jobs. They went further by saying that teachers pay an average of $480 out of pocket for school-related expenses. Again, teachers often work more hours than the school day provides. Teacher salaries have decreased by 4.5% over the last 10 years. Second to the last, 71% of America believe teachers deserve to be paid more. And finally, the US has been experiencing a teacher shortage since the 2008 recession. You can see, the fault is not on the public looking down on teachers and teachers earning, because they are aware that an average teacher is not well paid. So you won't blame the public for knowing the truth or for expressing the truth. Rather, you should face the people that can increase the salary to increase teacher salary. I'm a fan that teacher salary need to be increased because I was a teacher and I know what it means to be a teacher. The fault is not on the public. Speak to the government. That's the way to solve a problem. The cost of living in Texas is low. So I'm just imagining $58,000. She will definitely live big there. But much more, how does she spend this money? And how does she make this money? We know that she's a teacher. Is there any other thing that she does outside teaching to add to this money? Or this is just her nominal salary as a teacher? Let's hear from her.
I'm Lani Huang. I'm 25 years old. I make $58,400 a year, and I live in Dallas, Texas. I'm a middle school math teacher.
Wow, math teacher. Well, that's good. It's always impressive when you see ladies in STEM. Not just in STEM courses, but teaching mathematics. Wow, I need to applaud her for that. Math is not easy, much more having a female math teacher. I believe that you don't just look on one source of income stream. You should diversify your income stream. So if you're a math teacher, who she is, I'm glad that she's doing other things to make additional money. And make instructional math video is excellent. In fact, it will be easier for her because she knows mathematics and how to pass this knowledge to students. So what she's doing is incredibly good.
When I was working in Oklahoma, my starting salary was one of the lowest starting salaries for teachers in the nation. I actually participated in the Oklahoma teacher walkout. The starting salary back then, I believe, was like $32,000, like $400 or $900. And so moving to Texas, it was definitely like a $10,000, $15,000 salary increase with the same amount of experience. So I'm very satisfied with my current salary.
You remember that I said that Oklahoma is the state that paid their teachers the lowest, where half of teachers are making less than $33,000 a year. That's a strategic move that she made, which she did very well. You have the same skill, the same experience, and you discover that you are undervalued in one state. So it's an excellent move for her to leave the state she's paid lower to a state where her value will be more appreciated monetarily. So that's a smart move to move from Oklahoma to Texas, where she can earn more despite having the same experience.
Growing up in Thailand and then coming to the States, there's a different standard of living, but there's also the expectation as like a second generation immigrant for me that I have to do better than my mom. And so there was that pressure of always like achieving, along with like the Asian culture of the high expectations of, you know, being a doctor, a lawyer, a pharmacist.
I don't think this is inclined to only her. Generally, children are expected to do better than their parents. Having that inclination to do better than their parents is good and highly recommendable.
So I think that my mom, through all of her sayings and just growing up with her like frugal habits, definitely affected who I am as a person. Because if I can do anything myself, I will learn how to do it myself.
If you want to do anything by yourself, of course, you learn how to do it and you do it. And thank God there are several videos on YouTube for you to learn most things in the world. So there's no excuse for failure in our modern world.
It's always been a dream of mine to own my own home. In Chicago, I definitely wouldn't be able to afford the houses there, but moving to Texas and seeing how affordable houses still are, especially with the salary that I'm making as a teacher here, I knew I had to jump on this opportunity.
She calls it opportunity, and life is about finding opportunity and maximizing it. The video so far is highly impressive. She saw an opportunity in Texas, and she's like, I have to jump on the opportunity. She's well raised by her mother. Wow, she bought a house in Dallas for $155,000. So what was the down payment? She put down $10,000 down. Putting down $10,000 is very small compared to the overall cost of the house. She's putting down about 6.5% down. Putting down $10,000 is a good way of buying your house without feeling the cost initially. But the problem I have with putting down a small amount of money for your down payment is the interest you pay over the 25 years or 30 years contract that you have with the bank increases. If you can put down more money, it will be better. As you pay a lot of interest to the bank and the interest will keep increasing. I'm a fan of putting down as much as possible in order to reduce the interest that you will pay on your mortgage. Wow, that's cheap. You are having a 3-bedroom apartment with 2.5 bathroom for just $155,000. That's extremely cheap and smart move for buying it.
I didn't know about closing costs. So I knew about the down payment. I knew I had to have, a certain amount to put down, and I actually bought my home with the Teachers Next Door program. So
the teaching is paying her big time. No wonder why she's not complaining about being a teacher.
So the realtor contributes part of their commission to the closing costs, which was very, very helpful. So buying this house for myself, I think a lot of people are surprised, especially because they know I have a boyfriend. They're like, oh, did you guys buy it together? That's always one of their first questions.
You can buy a house alone on yourself. You can buy with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. It depends on how much you're looking into. In her own case, where the cost of the house is already cheap, about $155,000, and the down payment is just $10,000, I don't think that's really a big deal buying it alone. It is advisable to buy with your partner when you are seeking for a higher mortgage, let's say $50,000, $100,000, or even $1.5 million, depending the cost of your home. Wow, Andrew was unemployed till October 2020. They have been living together. It seems their love is making sense here, and highly impressive.
I definitely was paying for a majority of things, and when he was able to, I started, charging for rent and utilities. And so over time, I've been increasing that amount, but it's not quite half as of right now.
Her boyfriend was not earning till October this year, and they were living together, and she has shouldering the cost. It shows that she has a kind heart. Her boyfriend not working. Is it because of the COVID-19 pandemic, or he doesn't want to work? But since he has gotten a job and she only contributing about $450, we can say that it's a low-paying job. I would say that it would be better for her boyfriend to step up the game. She seems to be a lady that knows her onions. So it will also be good for her boyfriend to also step up the game so that the relationship will go smoother, freer, without any friction. And I like the way that she said that she introduced the cost to her boyfriend so that she won't be feeling the weight of the financial expenditure in the relationship. It's always good for couples to understand each other and even share their cost depending on their arranged percentage. Some couples do 50-50, some couples do 100-0, some couples spend 70-30%. So it depends on the couple. But in their own case, it depends on what works for them, as long as one is not taking advantage of the other.
I think that there was some tension over money during lockdown and because of the coronavirus quarantine, just because I felt like he was getting a little too comfortable.
He was getting a little too comfortable. From what she's saying, it's as if Andrew wasn't ready to work. He was getting comfortable during the lockdown and people were being dropped out of their job. So in such a scenario, to get a new job is difficult. So maybe Andrew is using the COVID-19 as an excuse not to work. But she looked at someone that like, hey, if you want to stay in my house, you got to get a job, man. Poor Andrew. Andrew has no choice but to get a job in October.
And so that's, where I drew the line of, I don't mind helping and paying for these things as long as you're not getting comfortable and starting to take advantage of it and starting to feel complacent, because it's important for me to make sure that the people around me are building better saving habits themselves and not just relying on one person.
Yeah, so it's always very good anywhere, anyhow, that people work and earn money. It's good anytime, any day. It's highly encouraged. It's always bad to have only a rich person in the family. There will be so much strain and stress on the person. So it's good while she's earning, her boyfriend will be earning. So I went through the comment section of this particular video on CNBC Make It, and a lot of people are roasting the boyfriend. They are calling him different kind of name, criticizing him, all sorts of name. You can check it out yourself. The link is in the description box. As long as he's not being too comfortable and he's not taking the privilege for granted and not taking advantage of her, we cannot blame the boyfriend for staying with her and spending the money with her when he is not working. But it becomes very bad when he is not willing to work anymore because the lady is producing money and catering for him. When he's able to work, it becomes almost like a liability instead of being an asset to her. Huang and seems to be up with her game, so it will always be very good to avoid friction that the guy also step up. There's no crime in working hard. There's no crime in supporting your woman when she's already hard working. In fact, it even makes the journey easier for you when you have a woman that's ready to work and bring money to the table like you. So you should not take advantage of it, but rather maximize it by working hard too and look for how to increase own revenue so that it can be like a 50% split in their finances. Because from the way she's talking, you can see that you can sense some complaining in her voice. She's not too comfortable, too okay that she's the one that's bringing the money to the table. So to avoid friction or even more friction in this relationship, it would be nice for Andrew to step up his own game and bring money to the table just like her, if not more than her.
My insurance didn't cover that because this year I chose to have the cheapest insurance, not thinking that I was going to need to get my wisdom teeth removed.
And that's what happened with insurance plans. The year that you choose to step down, that's when you look as if you will need it most. But all the time, don't really need it. You won't be seeing the cost coming. But it's not a big deal. After all, to remove the wisdom teeth is a one-time expense. So it won't be drastic on our income overall.
And so the bill was close to $2,000, and I had to pay for it, like upfront, all of it, the day of my appointment. So because of that mindset on like strict saving habits, I guess, I was able to do that.
And by the way, medical expenses in the US is really high. And sometimes I wonder why it's so high.
My mindset towards saving is that everything that I'm putting into my savings, that's money I don't have anymore.
The table that we love so much is here. Let's see how she budgets her money. Wisdom teeth remover, $1,850, one-time expense. I want to criticize CNBC for including a one-time expense in her budgeting. Like, since it's a one-time expense, why does it have to be part of our budget that they're showing us? So we can't really have a hook on her expenditure, because if wisdom teeth remover, which is the bulk of her money she spent in October, is part of this budgeting, in November, is there any other expense that she's making now? We don't know. This is the CNBC. If they can try and remove one-time expense so that we have a better estimate of the expenditure of millennials. If you know that you remove wisdom teeth, if I'm the one, I'll keep my insurance. But we want to give her the benefit of that she's not aware of such. But for the sake of people hearing me, if you want to perform such an expenditure, there's no need to reduce your insurance for that year. You can reduce it after that year. Housing, which is mortgage and PMI, she pays over $1,200, which is okay for a 3-bedroom apartment. In fact, I will even say that's cheap for a 3-bedroom apartment. Miscellaneous, $538, which you spend on travel, donation, cat food. That's a fair amount to spend. Pension, $399, which is equally fair. Then food is $374, which is on groceries and eating out. The $374 on food for a month is on the high side, and she's accounting for it because she's eating out. If she wants to reduce her expenditure in food, she can reduce her out from her eating out, thereby saving more money from food. Utilities is over $329, which is not bad for someone that's living in a 3-bedroom apartment. Transportation is $108, which she spends on gas and car insurance. Insurance, $85, which is for health, dental, and vision. So she actually said that she has insurance but does not cover for her teeth. So she tried to reduce her health insurance as much as possible. Always very good to have health insurance because you can't predict when you fall sick, and if you do not budget for that money, it can be expensive. So it's still a very wise move, and it's low. As long as such medical expenditure of $1,850 did not keep repeating, this insurance is very good. As it will become a case of robbing Peter to pay Paul. Subscription, which she pays on Teachers Union dues, Amazon Prime, Spotify, of course, is relatively okay. And for her phone, which she pays for $50 on. $50 is relatively on the high side, but it's not so much. Overall, her expenditure is excellent, except for the wisdom teeth remover. It's just for her to know if she will repeat such expense in the future. She may have to increase her insurance so that it won't be so much on her. But if she may not do such kind of one-time purchase again, it will not be recurrent on her expenditure. Her expenditure so far, the budgeting is excellent. Take 5-star for it. She saves over $1,000 per month. It's always good to have money at hand, so I want to assume that it's money at hand. Or else, I'm a fan of investing than saving money. I will always go for investing than just dropping money in the bank and hoping they'll give you interest, which they may not give you to a substantial amount compared to the amount that you are putting in. Goodness, she has done so well up to this point. Her budget is over $5,000 because of the one-time expense. It's relatively okay having $5,000 in her checking, but in savings account, $10,000. Like, what is the money doing in savings? $10,000 that you save for over 10 years may not make you an interest of $1,000. If she can make the savings zero and take the $10,000 into investment, like S&P 500 investing, it will be very good for her, not just in the immediate present, but also in the future. Millennials like saving money, but the way forward is not saving, it's investing. So it will always be better for her to have zero savings and put the money in investment. When you need the money, you can always sell your shares and get your money back for any emergency that you are saving for. And retirement is $10,000. That's a lot of money to save for retirement. Imagine saving $10,000 per month. Except that's what she has accumulated over the time that she has worked. But saving large sum of amount of money in retirement without investing it is not a very good plan. Like Robin Hood that ought to have the most is having the least. Millennials keep repeating this same mistake. I don't know why. Investment can go up, can go down, we know. But over the course of 5 years, 10 years, your investment always increase more than what you have in your savings. I would advise moving forward, if one should make more smart financial move, she should go more into investing than just saving money in the bank. Millennials, I know we like saving money. We grew up with the mentality of, oh, I need to save for the raining day. You can invest for the raining day instead of just merely saving for the raining day. I would pick investment over savings. Not that saving is bad, but investment gives you higher yield and return than mere savings. And for a house, which is $155,000, is an opportunity that she maximized. Overall, her asset is over $182,000 as of October 2020. Her budget for food is higher than what she spent, as we saw. But it's always good to have a higher budget and spend lower than have a lower budget and spend higher.
It's a little competition or a little game with myself to try to be under my budget. During the week, I meal prep, so Monday through Friday. It's just easier because as a teacher, I don't always come home at the same time every day, and so I don't usually want to come home and cook. So I just have it prepared on Sunday. She's been with my mom first for a while.
I would just assume that she just wants to help her mother out by buying the car from her. That's the assumption that I would make in this case. Because if you want to buy a car, I would tell you to go electric, because fuel, diesel car, that in the past.
My mom first for a while, but now that I've had her, we've taken a lot of road trips back to Chicago and just around the country. After graduating college, I had about $16,000 in student debt.
The teaching program covered about $12,000 of her student loan. You see, she's enjoying teaching. No wonder why she started the video by saying, "Don't come against teachers. Don't come against teachers. I love teaching. I love teachers. If you come against teachers, I will come against you." Teaching has paid her is obvious throughout her video. Smart move. Paying off $4,000 remaining debt as a gift to yourself. It's always good to give to yourself before giving to others. And by Lani paying herself first, by paying off the student loan, she's getting a lot of applause.
Hi, welcome to my classroom. I'm Miss Huang. I'm going to give you guys a quick tour. So this is what it looks like from the student perspective. They have to sit behind their plexiglass with their masks on.
It's definitely an interesting struggle because with Zoom, behavior management is, seemingly easier if there's like a student who's being disruptive or distracting, you can put them on mute or you can kick them out of the classroom. But when you're trying to teach and then there's an in-person situation that you need to take care of, it kind of is like you have to switch brains.
It's a little early, but I had some of my kids who did well on their quiz on Friday help set up our class Christmas tree.
I was excited to get back into the classroom because I knew that that's where I could really be in my element and decorate my classroom. It makes it feel a little bit more normal to be able to like play with kids, even with the social distancing guidelines of having to be 6 feet apart, having to wear a mask, having to sit behind a plexiglass.
I'm wondering how she was able to do it. You are teaching the class and still teaching some students on Zoom, and you're missing both. Wow, that must involve a lot of mental energy, you know? Overall, it's strenuous. Teachers are working very hard, and I agree they deserve more pay.
I would say I'm a good saver.
I'm a good saver. I would prefer that the statement is I'm a good investor. Investment is the way forward, not just dumping your money in the bank and hoping they give you interest.
Or I would like to think I'm a good saver when I can be, but in terms of like investing, I'm still new at that. And so good with money, I feel like is relative. Like, am I comfortable with where I am right now if an emergency were to happen?
If she's not very good with investing, tell her to subscribe to my channel. This is where we talk everything investing. Anything and everything that's necessary and needed for your investing, for your financial success. Tell her to subscribe to the channel. This is where it happens.
To happen, would I be okay? I think I would say yes. But I think that if I upward compare, there's people doing like way better and maybe have more knowledge about financial literacy than I do. But with the knowledge that I do have, I find it important with my role as a teacher, a math teacher, teaching low income or high risk students. I do feel like it's my responsibility to share the knowledge that I have learned. Since I've increased my salary, I don't think I'm as nitpicky about cutting costs, and I finally feel at the point where I don't have to be so conscious and obsessed with like my finances the way that I used to feel.
And that's the way it always happens. You know, when you earn very low, you are very conscious of what you spend. £1 counts so much. Like, how did you leave your account? Where did it go? Who took it? But as you start making more and more money, you start relaxing. Okay, £100 went out. Okay. Yeah. But that's not an excuse to be a spendthrift with your money. You should also guide and watch how your expenditure is going. Of course, not to a detrimental level.
Especially since buying my house. I think that was like a really big goal for me, and so I really wanted to make sure that I could do that. And now that I have that, I think that, you know, I want to enjoy the moment, because as much as I'm a high achieving person, I also realize that there has to be a balance between enjoying what I have, because if you're always looking towards the next thing, you're never going to feel like you have enough.
Why I preach you should save and invest, you should equally enjoy yourself. Where people make mistakes is they want to enjoy themselves without having any investment or any saving. That's when it becomes bad. It's always good to look for that point where you are living very well and still have money in investment. Not that because you want to invest, you're almost living like someone that was about to die. No. Thin line between these 2 points of living very well and investing. And it's always good to bridge the gap and live well and invest. Overall, this is a great video. She did very well in her budgeting, which she tried to keep to it. The major area where she's not doing well is in investing. Her lowest asset is in investing, which has to have the highest percentage in her asset. So if she can be able to balance the mathematics and convert her savings into investing, she's on a path to becoming a millionaire sooner than she expects. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like this video so that YouTube will recommend it to other people. Thank you so much.